Now today we are going to see a question that appeared on the 3rd of December 2013, ACCA P4. Now this question paper can be downloaded from accaglobal.com. Now we're going to see question number 3. Now it's a one-page question. Looking at the requirement first. Looking at the requirement first. We are told required estimate the additional equity value created by combining Novola company and Makonis company. So it's a business combination, it's a merger. So this is going to be estimate the additional equity value created by combining Novola and Makonis company. And they want you to use the valuation. This is a valuation of equity. You are going to do a valuation of equity based on the free cash flows. Now, to the firm, it's going to be free cash flows to the firm method. So there's one more method, free cash flows to equity. But in this case, you are going to concentrate only on free cash flows to the firm. Comment on the results. So you better comment on the results. There will be marks for that. Obtain and briefly discuss the assumptions that you make. What are the assumptions that you're going to make? So there's a few things here. Number 1, estimate the additional equity value created. Number 2, it's going to be comment on this thing. And number 3, make sure you write down all the assumptions that you make, and that carries 13 marks. Part B of the question, estimate the impact on Makonis company's equity holders, shareholders. What will be, what is going to be the impact on Makonis shareholders if the premium paid is increased to 50% from 30%. So in the question, probably they will tell us today they're going to pay 30% and they're going to increase the premium to 50% to Novola, I think supposed to be. So we'll see that question in a while, but anyway, we have an idea of what you're going to do. This is purely estimate the impact. What will the impact to Makonis equity holders, and that's going to give us 5 marks. Now, next one is going to be part C of the question, estimate. Everything. There's the 3 estimates here. So there should be some computational element required. The additional funds required. Estimate the additional funds required if, how much money, extra money. This is the extra, this is funding issues. Funding required if a premium of 50% is paid instead of 30%, and discuss how this premium could be financed. So what is the 2 parts here? Fundings and how you're going to finance this particular thing. So looking for financing. It could be a general financing question. Think whatever about financing to answer this part C of this question. Now that's going to give us 7 marks. So total is going to carry us 25 marks. Now looking at this question, let's go back to the first paragraph. Now I'm going to paragraph these numbers here. Number 1 paragraph. This is going to be my paragraph number 2, and this is going to be my paragraph number 3, and this is going to be my paragraph number 4. And you don't have to paragraph it because it's just a 1 page. Unlike the question number 1, we need to paragraph those. Anyway, now first paragraph, Makonis company is a listed company, so it has a price. It has a price. It has beta. Easy to find a lot of things. Easy. Now think about it. If it's a listed company, it's easy to obtain funding. Part C of this question later on. It's easy to do funding. So it's a listed company producing motor cars. Wants to, producing motor cars. It wants to acquire Novola company, an engineering company involved in producing innovative devices for cars, Makonis is keen to incorporate some of Novola's innovative devices into the cars and thereby boosting sales revenue. Now what can we see here is that you are merging, you're going to buy another company called Novola, but it is still in the types of motor cars. This is still in the motor cars, but there will be some business changes. There will be some business change. Business is going to change. There will be some business change. That means you are moving out of your main business. I mean, you're adding on something else. You're adding on something, not moving on, you're adding on something else. And Makonis is keen to incorporate some. There will be some synergies here. Keen to incorporate some of their innovative devices, thereby boosting sales revenue. So this is called synergy. There will be a revenue synergy. There are many types of synergy, but in this case it's going to be based specifically, it looks like it's going to be on revenue synergy. That's the first paragraph. Now, if you're going to read the question like what I'm reading, you're going to fail this exam, because you don't have time to do other questions. Now I'm doing it slowly so that you all understand. Now the paragraph number 2. The following financial information is provided for the two companies. They're given you for Makonis company and Novola company. They give you the share price. Looks like Makonis is a higher value compared to Novola. And number of shares issued is going to be 210 million, and you have 200 million. And equity beta, looking at equity beta is not so useful. What is more interesting is looking at asset beta, because asset beta does not reflect any financial risk. It only reflects business risk. So if you're looking at it, Novola is high risk company, Makonis is a low risk business wise. Business wise, Makonis is a low business risk. Novola is taking higher business risk. Now that will be useful for us to find some cost of capitals. That will be useful. Later we're going to see what type of cost of capital we will have to use. It is thought that combining the two companies will result in several benefits. Synergy. Free cash flows to the firm. Now they want you to use free cash flows to the firm of the combined company. Now you must understand free cash flows to the firm. Free cash flows to the firm is all cash flows. You have to remember it's before interest. It is before interest and before any distribution to shareholders. Before interest, before distribution to shareholders, after all other payments have been made. And it's going to be 217 million in current terms value, but this will increase by an annual. This is going to be a free cash flow. This is your starting point. This is going to be your year 0. Today you have a free cash flows combining. Combine. This is already combined for you. You don't have to worry about combining. This is already combined for you in today's term, but this will increase in line with what? Annual growth rate of 5%. So these are keywords that I'm highlighting. 5% for the next 4 years. This is very common by your examiner. He doesn't give you one-off growth rate. There will be 2 growth rates in your exams usually. 5% for the next 4 years before reverting to an annual growth rate of 2.5% in perpetuity. That means infinity is going to grow for our valuation model is going to be based on a perpetuity model to growth rate. In addition to this, combining the companies will result in a cash synergy benefit of 20 million per year for the next 4 years. It's going to be a cash synergy of 20 million per year for the next 4 years. So this is going to be additional synergy. Now this synergy benefits are not subject to any inflationary increase. That means this is purely money. Yeah, this is all money already. Yeah, no inflation to this figure. It's going to be constant every year, 20 million, and no synergy benefits will occur after. No synergy benefits will occur after the 4th year. Okay, so far so good. Now the debt to equity ratio of the combined company, they're also telling you how are you going to have your proportion of your debt and your equity of the combined company in market value terms, and it's expected that the combined company's cost of debt will be 4.55%. This is going to be your cost of debt. This is going to be your cost of debt, and it's not mentioned, but usually we'll take it as taken before tax. Is that okay? So it's going to be cost of debt before tax. So this is before tax. So what I have to do, I have to do after tax. This is before tax. Yeah, let's just put it this way. This is going to be before tax. Now the corporation tax, paragraph number 4. The corporation tax is simply 20%. The corporation tax is 20%. It's useful for us to do some calculations of beta ungearing and some tax issues here. The RF rate is 2%, and the market risk premium is actually RM, return on the market, take away RF, 7%. It can be assumed. So these are the important figures. 20%, fine, 7, and you got 2. This is for you to find your cost of equity using the CAPM model. To be assumed that the company's combined asset beta, okay, this is very common again, we have seen this many times, yeah? You have seen this many times. One of the examples that you've seen is Pursuit. The old examiner, you could have seen this in Paxis. Yeah, okay, anyway. It can be assumed that the combined company's asset beta is the weighted average of Makonis and Novola's asset beta weighted by their current market value. So we're going to combine the two asset beta, because this asset beta here, this asset beta here, this one, yeah, this asset beta here, this one, and this one is separated. So we're going to combine these two together using the weighted average, using this current market value. Now moving on, Makonis has offered to acquire Novola. Okay, they have offered to acquire Novola through a mixed offer. Now mixed offer compared to a straight share for share exchange or a straight cash offer, mixed offer is a mixture of shares plus cash. This is to make what do you call that, the deal successful. Yeah, mixed offer is very common. Offer of one of its shares for 2 Novola shares. So this is going to be one of Makonis shares for 2 of Novola shares. Yeah, we know that Makonis shares is expensive. Yeah, we know that Makonis shares is expensive. So you're going to give 1 for 2 of their shares. So we have here plus a cash payment. Now there's going to be a plus here, plus a cash payment. So that means you're going to give 1 Makonis shares plus some cash to acquire 2 of Novola shares. Yeah, you got to remember, it's not Novola's giving you cash. Yeah, I hope you understand. It's all about 1 shares in Makonis for 2 of Novola shares plus a cash payment, such that 30%, they didn't tell you how much the cash, such that 30% premium is paid for the acquisition. 30% premium is paid for the acquisition. That means this is going to be 100%. You're going to pay 30% extra on this to acquire Novola. Novola's equity holders, feel that a 50% premium will be more acceptable. Just now we saw a lot of 30% and the 50% in part B and part C of the question. We'll come back to that when we do part C and part B of the question. Makonis has sufficient cash reserves if the premium is 30%. Now you have sufficient cash reserves if the premium is 30%, but if it's going to be 50%, you don't have the money. So we need to look for the additional money. Yeah, remember, we need to look for the additional money, not the total money for that 50% of the premium. So this is what you have here. So we are ready to do part A of the question. Yeah, so the first part of the video, I'm going to show you this part A of this answer. Now, part A of this answer, according to this question, they say estimate the additional equity value created by combining Novola and Makonis based on the free cash flows to the firm, comment on the results obtained, and briefly discuss any assumptions that you make. So we're going to have the first part here, establishing additional equity value. So basically we're going to look at the total incremental in the value of the combined company. This would happen as a result of the synergy. Yeah. Post merger, using free cash flows to the firm. Yeah, using free cash flows to the firm method. Okay, now so we are going to find out, we'll do some workings first. Yeah, we're gonna do some workings before we hit that free cash flows calculation. Now the first thing I would like to do is going to be my cost of capital. Now you have to remember, for a free cash flows to the firm, we need a weighted average cost of capital. For free cash flows to equity, we need a cost of equity. But in this case, it's going to be simply the weighted average cost of capital. Now, of the combined company. Yep, of the combined company. Okay, so this is what we're going to have here. We're going to have combined companies cost of capital first. Now, to determine how do you do that, we need a few data information now. Now, you have Makonis and Novola. Yeah, we have Makonis and Novola. I would suggest you just to write Makonis here and put M, Novola here, then put N. From there onwards, you can have M and N all the way, all right? So I'll make it simple today. Just put M and N. Okay, we're going to have here number of shares. It is given in paragraph number 2. Number of shares. It's all given in this particular paragraph. Yeah, 210 million and 200 million. So we have here 210 million, 210 million, and you have here 200 million. Now the price of the share, again in paragraph number 2, it's given as 5.80, and this is going to be 2.40 per share. Now multiplying this two figure, when you multiply this two figure, you're simply going to get your value of your equity. So when you multiply this figure, you're going to get, you just have to multiply this two figure. Is that okay? You multiply this two figure, you will get an answer of 1218, and you're going to get one answer here of 480. So you're going to get here something here 480. And you're going to have a total down here. You're going to have a total of these two figures. This is going to give you 1698. Alright, so this is what you're going to get. 1218 plus 480, giving you 1698. And then we are told beta asset. Yeah, remember, equity beta is not relevant here. We just want to use the beta asset. And then what are we going to do? We're going to combine these two beta, and then we re-gear at this level. Is that okay? This is useless. This is useless because we are not going to find any free cash flows to Makonis individually or Novola individually. We're going to find free cash flows of the combined company, so we need to use the beta asset to re-gear back to the combined gearing level. So in this case, what are we going to have here? We're going to have a beta asset of 0.9 given in paragraph number 2, and your beta asset is 1.2 given in your paragraph number 2. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to have a combined asset beta. Combined asset beta. Now, according to that paragraph, it's going to be based on paragraph number 4, right? Paragraph number 4, it says here, this paragraph here, it says here that it can be assumed that a combined company's beta asset is the weighted average of the Makonis and Nuvola's beta asset weighted by the current market value. So it's going to be based on the market value. So it's going to be combined weighted average on value of equity. Is that okay? On value of equity. So how do you combine these two? How do you combine these two? We're going to say weighted average 0.9 multiplied by 1218 divided by 1698 plus 1.2 multiplied by 480 divided by 1698, and you're going to get a figure of a weighted average. It should be more than 0.9. You're going to get 0.985. Okay, so we have the combined beta asset. The next thing that we're going to do, always leave a line. Yeah, leave a line and go to the next part. Make it look presentable. So the next thing what we're going to do here is we're going to have to re-gear to the new combined entity. Yeah, new combined entity post-merger. Okay, so we're going to have a re-gear to new combined entity post-merger. Well, how do you re-gear? Well, I want to use the formula beta asset equals to beta equity multiplied by equity over equity plus debt. Remember, all the debt, you have some benefits of tax, so 1 minus tax, close bracket. Of course, you can continue the formula by putting beta debt, but we're going to make an assumption later on. Beta debt is going to be nil. So I'll write that assumption down there. Okay, now we're going to put the figures now. What do we have here? We have the outside beta asset 985. I have 0.985. And I want to find my beta equity. My equity is given already, so you don't have to worry about that proportion. It's already given. They plan to have a 60-40, 60 equity, 40 debt. Yeah, they plan to have a 60-40 ratio. So this is going to be 60 on top, 60 plus 40 multiplied by your tax. Now, all this tax can be found in paragraph number 4. It's giving us a tax of 20%. Okay, it's going to be giving you the tax of the 20% of the combined company tax. Okay, so we're going to have here beta equity. You calculate yourself accordingly. You should get an answer of 1.51. Now this reflects what? This reflects combined business risk. Yep, combined business risk plus the combined financial risk of the merged company. So you must remember this beta as equity reflects business risk of the combined and also financial risk. What is this one? This only reflects the business risk. Is that okay? This only reflects the business risk. Beta asset only reflects the business risk. Okay, moving on. The next step in this WACC calculation, weighted average cost of capital calculation, leave a line, we're going to have to find, we're going to establishing a cost of equity using capital asset pricing model. Yep, establishing Cost of equity using capital asset pricing model. Cost of equity equals to RF plus RM, take away RF, multiplied by a suitable beta equity. So in this case, your RF is going to be given in paragraph number 4. It's going to be 2%, and your equity risk premium or market risk premium in this case is given as 7%, and your beta equity, you just found that one out here and you just put it in there. Okay, you just put it in there, and you're going to get this answer here at 1.51 beta equity, giving us a cost of equity in 2 decimal places, 12.57%. Now you can go for 12.6. Alright, it's good to round up at the end. If you really want to round up, please round up at the WACC part. Yeah, weighted average. Don't round up here. Try not to round up here. So we're going to have 12.57. The next thing, which is going to be cost of debt. We are told what is cost of debt, so in this case it's not a problem. Now the next thing is going to be straight. I think we can straight go to this WACC calculation. Now establishing KWACC, yeah, establishing a cost of capital, KWACC. Now this is going to be for the free cash flow of the firm, discounting factor. Okay, this is going to be the discounting factor for the free cash flows of the firm. Now KWACC is simply equals to KE in bracket E over E plus D. You don't have time, you don't write this. Is that clear? If you got the time, you write this. KD 1 minus D. Usually you don't have the time. Alright, multiplied by debt 1 E plus D, giving us an answer here 12.57. This is, if you strictly want to follow these digits, alphabets here, 60 is your equity, 60 is your equity, 40 is your debt. Okay, or if you want to, yeah, if you want to write off some time here or get some time here, 4.55, that is going to be your cost of debt, which is given in paragraph number 3, and your tax is given in paragraph number 4, 0.2, 20%, and this simply, I want to write 0.4. Is it okay? Because this is 0.6, yeah, this is 0.6, and this is going to be 0.4. Okay, so proportion is there. All right, giving us an answer. Examiner have created this to be a nice, beautiful 9%. Yeah, it's nice 9%. So we are in already to this main answer. So what are we going to do now is we're going to find out the main requirement of this question: additional equity value. Additional equity value. Now, today, this is your equity value if you combine without announcing any synergy or growth. This is your this is your existing equity combined value. Okay, so we're going to find the new value, and then we're going to come back and we're going to minus this from that new value, and we're going to get that answer, additional equity value. Okay, so coming back here, let me take a new sheet. So we're going to have valuation. I'm going to write the heading here proper. Valuation of combined value and additional equity value. Yeah, an additional equity value. Now, we are told that we have 4 years, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, having a different growth rate compared to the perpetuity growth rate that commences from year 4 onwards. So this is going to be year 1 up to infinity. Now we have, I'm just going to create an imaginary year 0 here, which is not relevant, but anyway. Now this is going to be your free cash flows to the firm, yeah, of the combined company. We are told that the free cash flows to the firm of the combined company, which is going to be 216. So this is going to be 216 in current terms. Today's value, it's 216, but it's going to grow by 5%. So this is going to be 216. Now this is lousy piece of information. I mean, just make it thin. Okay, this is 216. We're not going to use this one. Okay, but this is going to grow. This is the one that's going to grow. This is not what we're going to discount. Okay, this is not what we're going to discount. So I'm going to take this out later. Now this is going to be 227, growing this by 5%. Is that okay? Growing this 5%. This is going to be growing up at 5%. I've rounded up to the nearest million. Okay, I've rounded up to the nearest million. And then you're going to have here 250, and then you're going to have here 263. So got it. Now 263, finish. Now this is combined company. Now, and then they move on to say that in addition to this, for the first 4 years, okay, there will be a cash benefits of synergy for the next 4 years. That means this is before synergy. This is before synergy. This is simply growth. Full stop. This is simply the growth. Okay? And we're going to have some synergy. Synergy benefit here, 20, 20, 20, 20. And they said specifically in that paragraph number 3 that the synergy will never happen beyond the 5th year. Next 4 years, synergy is not subject. They say no synergy benefit will be occurring after the 4th year. So we're gonna just get this away with. Now, what is going to happen is this. Carefully, listen to me very carefully. Now, year 5 onwards, it's going to be growing at a different rate. Now, this is going to be 263. This is going to be 263 multiplied by 1 plus, actually the formula is this. The formula is this. If you're going to take year 1 to infinity, you take free cash flow 1 over K WACC minus G. Similar to your dividend valuation model. Yeah, similar to your dividend valuation model, D1 KE minus G, which is equals to free cash flow 0 1 plus G over K WACC minus G. Now that is if it's year 1 to infinity. Now if you use year 1 to infinity, you are going to get this answer. Whatever that you're going to get here will be at year 0 value. Whatever you're going to get, this answer will be at year 0 value. Year 1 to infinity, you do the calculation, you're going to end up in year 0. But if you're going to do year 5 to infinity, you're going to use free cash flow 5. Check this out. Year 1 comes here, you put here year 1. Year 5 comes here, you're going to put here year 5. So this is going to be K WACC minus G. And this is going to be free cash flow 5 is free cash flow 4 1 plus G K WACC minus G. So this is going to be year 4. Let me tell you, if it's year 1, you end up in year 0. Year 5, actually, it's going to be ending up in year 4. Okay, it's going to end up in year 4 value terms. Okay, I believe at this level you should be aware of all these things. So this is going to be 1 plus G, 0.0225 given in that paragraph number 3, 2.25% divided by 0.09, your WACC. So I'm already discounting this particular part. Yeah, I'm already discounting this. I haven't discounted this fellas, but I've discounted this. I've started to discount this already. Never mind. Minus G 0.0225. Okay, and remember, this is actually a year 4 value. Is that okay? This is going to be a year 4 value, which we are going to multiply with the 4th year of discount factor. Now, anyway, we'll just come back to that one later, and we're going to have this done. We're going to have this done, and there's no synergy here, right? There's no synergy here. Okay, fine. And we're going to have to plus. This is going to give us 247. This is going to be 258. This is going to be 270. This is going to be 283. And you're going to discount this using a WACC, weighted average cost of capital, at 9%. Now, looking at your calculators would be good, or if you're not good in calculators, look at your tables. Yeah, whatever it is, I'm going to use 3 decimals here. 917 842 772 708. Okay, so we're going to multiply. Okay, now since I already put there 708, I'm going to put here again 0.708, because I'm going to multiply whatever I get here. I'm going to multiply with this figure in order for me to get the present value. Okay, if you don't want to multiply with this figure, whatever you get here, you grow by 2.25%. Also can, no problem. You don't have to multiply with 708. Because this is already in present value terms. Yeah, but anyway, we'll use this method. Now, then what are you going to do? You're going to multiply with these figures. We're just going to multiply. And we're going to get the value of the company, of the firm. This is going to be multiplied to get 226. Let me change my color back to blue. So this is going to be 226. This is going to be 217. This is going to be 208, and this is going to be 200. And when you multiply with this figure, when you multiply these figures with these figures all the way down, you are going to get something. Check 2821. Okay, this is what you should have. And combining them, okay, combining this value, combining all this value, we're going to say total value of combined company. They call it a firm, okay? Total value of the combined company is actually VG, value of the whole company, which is equals what? E plus is actually a VE and a VD combined together. Free cash flows to the firm, you're going to get the value of the firm, E plus D. So you're going to get the total of this figure. When you just total up this figure, yeah, you're going to get total of this figure. You're going to get something like 3672 million. All right, okay, 3672 million. And we're not interested in this value of the firm actually, because they ask us to find out what is the value of the equity increasing. What's the value of the equity increasing? Now we are told that the equity proportion in paragraph number 3, okay, in paragraph number 3, we are told that the equity is going to be 60% of that 3672. So 3672 multiplied by 60% is going to be 2203. That's going to be the equity value of the new combined company and I'm going to compare that with my original value of equity. Now my original equity value, which I'm just going to write it, call it pre-merger, okay, pre-merger, which I've mentioned here. Yeah, we have mentioned here earlier when we started off the question. This is going to be your pre-merger, yeah, equity value. Post-merger equity value, it's going to be 2203. So you're going to combine this with 1698, giving us a synergy of 505. This is called an increase in the value of equity. This is actually the main answer here. This is actually the main answer. Obviously, you will have marks for all whatever that we have done just now. This is going to be part of the answer. Okay, so this is going to be 505. Now, what else you can do here is we can find out the increase in percentage. Increase in equity value. In percentage, you simply take 505 over 1698 multiplied by 100. It's going to give you simply 30% increase. Yeah, 30% increase in the value of the combined company's equity value. So now we're going to comment. Now we've done our calculation, we've done our estimation. The next part we're going to do will be to comment. Okay. We're going to say quickly, there is an increase. There is an increase in equity value after combination, okay, i.e. from 1698 million to 2203 million by 30%. That's a good sign. Next line, we're going to say this increase in value of equity could have been more. Yeah, it could have been more. It would have been more, comma, if not for the overall increase in WACC. Now, why I'm saying my WACC went up, yeah, of the combined company? Because Makonis today is having a low asset beta. When you combine with a high asset beta, your cost of equity and all that is going to go up. Obviously, your WACC is going to go up. When your WACC goes up, the value of a firm is going to go down. But we're going to say our value still went up, yeah? If not for the overall increase in the WACC of the combined company due to increased risk. How is it reflected? It's reflected in novella, whatever, beta's asset, yeah? So it would have been more. It would have been more if not for the increase in the WACC. Then we're going to say, how come it still went up? But, next point, yeah? But the value of the equity still went up. The value of the equity still went up due to growth. Yeah, the value of the equity still went up due to growth in cash flows. Yeah, there was a growth of 5% and 2.25% after 4 years. Growth in cash flows and synergy. Yeah, this is for first 4 years. Yeah, due to the growth in cash flows and also synergy for the first 4 years, which outweighed the additional risk and an increase in the WACC, which outweighed it would have been more. Okay, so that is what you have to comment. Now the next part I'm going to write here is going to be, yeah, we have to finish up this question. There's 3 parts here. Briefly discuss the assumptions that you have made. This is basic assumptions that we're going to write here. Think about any assumptions that you know. Assumptions made in valuation. Yeah, assumptions made in the valuation. Yep, assumptions made in the valuation. Beta debt is nil. Yeah, we assume the first assumptions that I'm going to write here is beta debt is assumed to be nil. Now, that's not true, isn't it? Yeah, that's not true. We are told that it can be seen that KD at the moment is not equals to your RF. What was your KD? 4.55. What is your RF? 2%. So it's not going to be nil. There will be some default risk. Yeah, there will be some default risk here, which will have a beta debt. But anyway, we assume in this question it's nil. The next thing we're going to assume, next point, tax rates, RM figures, RF figures will be held constant. So simple assumptions will be held constant. Okay, next one is going to be time horizon, yeah, to perpetuity is valid. Time horizon to perpetuity is valid for equity valuation. Some people say perpetuity is too long. Maybe we should consider a medium term time horizon, 15 to 20 years, instead of taking the whole value. So we're going to assume that the whole value is valid, which is okay. Now growth rates will be held constant. Growth rates will be held constant, i.e. 5% for first 4 years and 2.25% thereafter. Okay, now all these are comprehensive answers. Exactly. Don't worry if you can't get all the assumptions there in the exam time constraint. Okay, beta asset of combined business, beta asset of combined business reflected by individual beta asset weighted by size of equity of individual company. Is that okay? So beta asset of the combined business reflected by individual beta asset. That means what it's saying is assuming that the weighted average based on that value is valid. Okay, so that is what I would write here for part A of this question to earn 13 marks. So this is my first part of Makonis company.